The Hyundai i30 Fastback N is trimmed for pure driving fun. The 4-door sports coupe is based on the i30 N, and with at least 250 horsepower and a road holding that invites you, cornering it always offers enough performance.
Welcome to Spain. Today we're going to drive the brand new Hyundai i30 Fastback N. In our case, the performance version. So this is the most powerful Hyundai i30 Fastback. What it delivers, where it's weak, and most important, how it drives. Let's find out now. With 1.79 m, the Hyundai i30 Fastback N is exactly as wide as the standard i30N. The car should look very sporty, and therefore we're going to find a very big, completely black grille at the front, and the car comes as standard with full LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. To give the car a bit more air regarding to the engine and the brake system, we do have a lot larger air intakes here at the side. And to give the car the extra sporty kick, we do find this red line here at the front spoiler. At the side of the car, the first thing that catches your eyes are the rims. Because the N version comes as standard with 18-inch alloys, our performance version here comes as standard with 19-inch alloys. And there is a difference regarding to the brake system, because with the N version you do have the N braking system on board with red brakes here. If you have the performance version, which we are driving, you're going to have the N performance brake system, and you will have a red brake system as well, but with the N logo on top. When you then look at the whole car now is 4.45 meters long, which means it is 12 centimeters longer than the hatchback version. And this with the same wheelbase, and very important, the car is about 3 centimeters lower, and that really stretches the whole car and gives them an extra sporty look. Very important, our car here comes in the so-called shadow grey color, and that gives the car the extra impression, I think, because with that, the black elements of the car, they do pop out a lot more, but sadly this color is only for this car, and it costs you about 600 euros. When you then look at the shape of the car, we have a very flat front window, we have a nicely dropping roofline, and that stops here with this rear spoiler, and that really gives the car the kick I absolutely like. So from the side, I think that really is a very sporty look. The i30 Fastback N comes as standard with LED taillights, and I really do like the design of the lights because they're going far into the side of the car, and they really do feature the same shape as the rest, so they're really very nicely integrated. Of course, we do find the Fastback signature here at the rear, and very important, we have 2 exhaust pipes, and these are real exhausts. And if you order the performance version, which we're driving, this is a modular exhaust system, so you can play a bit with the sound. And then we do have this reflector here, which gives the car the extra pressure to the ground, and very important, we have this triangle here, which we already know from the standard Hyundai i30, but here it is the rear fog light. But the highlights from the rear, from my side, are from on one side, these very nicely shaped shoulders, because they really put the car very solidly on the ground, and of course this spoiler here with this black line that really gives the spoiler the extra kick. And I do like a lot this shape here, because that really gives the car from the rear a very beautiful and very sporty look. The 2-liter turbo petrol engine in that car really makes a great job, and especially in combination with a very precise 6-speed manual gearbox. That's really fun to drive, and very important with that car is it offers you different drive modes, and one is the so-called N mode, but that then makes the car so stiff that you can hardly drive it on standard roads. But the good thing is, if you press the button a second time, you then come into the so-called custom mode, which gives you the opportunity to really do the setup of the car the way you want for your actual drive. The i30 Fastback N comes with a 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine, and that features with the standard N version 184 kilowatts or 250 horsepower. The performance version we are driving offers 202 kilowatts or 275 horsepower. Both cars are featuring a maximum torque of 353 Newton meters, but very important, that car offers a so-called overboost function, which then gives you up to 7 seconds a maximum torque of 378 Newton meters. And that is enough for the car to have a maximum speed of 250 kilometers per hour, and the acceleration from 0 to 100 you can do with the standard N version in 6.4 seconds. The performance version does only need 6.1.
The so-called Rev Matching function is not only a pleasure for the ears, because it automatically gives intermediate gas when switching gears to adjust the revs perfectly for the next gear. With this, every gear change works perfectly.
But now I really want to have a look how quick you really can drive that car.
The i30 Fastback N is a true curve wonder. Thanks to the electronic differential lock on the front axle in our performance version of the Hyundai, it roars precisely and extremely fast through the curves. But also every intermediate sprint or the braking before the next turn makes the driver smile.
The seats of the car really offer more than enough support, and even though they're quite stiff, they're still comfortable enough. And the good thing is you can adjust the position of the steering wheel as well as the seats the way that even me as a tall driver really do find a good position to have the car under perfect control. Regarding to my headspace, I have to say I have enough, but we do not have the optional sunroof on board, which costs you 1,100 euros, but that could really reduce the height a bit, so you better try that before you order it while choosing your extras.
The basic equipment of the i30 Fastback N leaves nearly no wishes unfulfilled. For example, an active lane assist, a cruise control and a high beam system are always on board. On top, a launch control for the quickest possible sprint from 0 to 100 comes as standard as well.
The i30 Fastback N really comes very well equipped, so it offers, for instance, a 8-inch touchscreen display here with a sat-nav on board and Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, everything as standard. But if you want to have the N performance data and the traffic sign recognition, you have to buy the so-called navigation pack, and that's gonna cost you 600 euros extra. Let's talk about materials and craftsmanship. In principle, I do think that I like the interior of the car. We do find loads of black, but we do have very nice red stitching here at the steering wheel and here at the gear knob. And very important, we do have red frames around these air outtakes here. On the other hand, we do find loads of plastic as well. So around the gear shifter, we do have plastic here. The dashboard, we do find plastic. In the door panels, we do find plastic. But on the other hand, that really makes the difference when we talk about price. The noise level inside of the car, I think, is absolutely fine for a sporty, compact car. But of course, this is completely changing when you push the N button here at the steering wheel, because then the engine really gives everything to give your ear something to listen at. Hyundai says the i30 Fastback N should take 8.1 liter as the standard version, 8.2 liter as the performance version in average per 100 kilometer driven, and that is regarding to the cyclists of WLTP. But we didn't manage to get that numbers. During our test drive, we used about 10 to 11 liters. But very important is if you drive the car really sporty, very quick, then you should expect something between 15 up to 16.
The competitors of the i30 Fastback N are, for example, the Audi S3 and the Mercedes-AMG CLA 45. But both are significantly more expensive than the Hyundai. The Audi S3 starts at around 46,000 euros, and for a Mercedes CLA 45 AMG around 58,000 euros have to be paid. But both the Audi and the Mercedes are offering all-wheel drive and a 7-speed automatic gearbox as standard. At the sprint from 0 to 100 km per hour, the 381 horsepower of the Mercedes and the 300 horsepower of the Audi are noticeable. So the CLA 45 manages the sprint in only 4.2 seconds. The S3 sedan needs 0.5 seconds more. The top speed of 250 km per hour of both models matches the level of the Hyundai. The i30 Fastback N offers 450 liters of boot capacity with the rear seats up. Folding down the seats, this increases up to 1,351 liters, which means it offers about 50 liters more than the hatchback in both ways. On top, there is an extra bar available for the performance version. On one hand, it will increase the stiffness of the car a little, but on the other hand, it is an unneeded obstacle in your boot when the seats are down. In comparison, the Audi S3 sedan offers 390 liters of luggage space. The Mercedes CLA 470 liters with upright back seats.
That was my first test drive in the brand new Hyundai i30 Fastback N. And what I really like with the car, it really delivers pure driving pleasure. And then there is the exterior design, especially the tail of the beauty. I really like that a lot. And what I really do appreciate is the variety of different drive modes, because you really can set up the car the way you want. But on the other hand, if you're looking for a very comfortable car, you should better have a first test drive with that one, because even if you drive it in standard mode, it is already quite stiff. And then for me, one downside is that the interior you find a lot of plastic. I don't like that very much, but on the other hand, that's very important when we talk about the price, because the standard version of the i30 Fastback starts at 31,100 euros here in Germany, and the performance version only costs 33,600 euros, and it comes very well equipped. And even our test car here, which got every extra on board except the sunroof, will cost a lot less than 40,000 euros.